I think the first thought I have is that UCLA was really good tonight. And sometimes you want to, as a coach, you want to blame your kids or try to figure out what went wrong. But I think a lot of what went wrong was that UCLA was really exceptional tonight. And we were a little uncharacteristic with the basketball. I thought we just had inopportune turnovers and obviously way too many in the first half in particular. And then I thought we came out at halftime, made a really good run, but still took some inopportune shots, maybe tried to home run it a little bit too much instead of making them play defense a little bit longer, which led into a lot of transition points for them. Our transition defense was uncharacteristic today, as was the turnovers. But again, I think you have to give UCLA a lot of credit. You have to give Jordan Canada quite a bit of credit for the way she managed the basketball team. And again, sometimes you have to give the other team credit.
Okay, we're going to take questions for our student athletes first. So please address your questions to the student athletes, and then we will let them go. First question. We've got a question on the aisle, left side.
Todd Engel with the KC Star. Ariel, can you give us an idea what the message was at halftime? Because it seems like you guys came out really fired up. And then also, were you surprised with how UCLA responded to your guys' reaction and the big run coming out in the third quarter?
Our message at halftime was to stick to our game. We hadn't played our type of basketball for the first half, and I feel like the beginning of the third quarter we kind of got a flow, and they answered the run.
Got a question in the middle on the right side, and then we'll come up to the front.
Jatarie, you guys have been so good rebounding the ball this year, and they actually beat you guys on the boards tonight. What did they do so effectively to have some success in that department?
I think tonight they just did a lot of out-hustling us on the boards, getting those extra loose balls. I think they don't wait for the ball to come to them. They go get it. So I think that's what they did better tonight, rebounding.
We have a question on the front. Right here on the front.
Sean Rooney for Dos Mundos newspaper here in Kansas City for Ariel and Brooke. Besides the rebounding that Ms. White referred to, in any other ways that you felt like UCLA was exceptional tonight, like what Coach said?
I think they did a good job of capitalizing on our turnovers.
I thought that they flipped the floor and made us work on defense as well. And if they didn't get a shot, I mean, they went and rebounded their ball. So it just all goes back to turnovers and rebounds.
Question on the middle left.
Brooke, I wanted to ask you about Jordan Canada. She only had 2 points, 0 for 5 in the first half. And then she comes out, and I really thought she was the difference in the second half. I mean, what changed for her? Did you notice anything? And how hard was she to stop once she got going in the second half?
I think in the first half she kind of ran the point guard, was facilitating a little bit, and then in the second half she just decided to take over. And when she gets going, it's going to be a tough matchup. So you have to be ready to bring your best game. And tonight she just in the second half she really managed the ball really well and took over the game.
We have a question on the front aisle, and then we'll move to the middle.
Hi, Sue Favor with Women's Hoops for Brooke and Ariel. How did this matchup differ from the one that you had in the scrimmage last fall with UCLA?
Brooke, you want to answer that first, and then we'll go to Ariel.
I think that over the year everybody's going to get better, but I think that they did a great job of working on their offense and working on getting the ball in the hands of people that are going to make shots and stuff like that. And so I think that, and then the fact that they can capitalize, like Ariel said, on our turnovers.
I think they've gotten better overall over the year. I think both of us have, but I think the big difference to me is their chemistry on defense.
Question on the front middle.
Rick Hansu, the Austin American Statesman, for Brooke and then Jatarie. With the 15 turnovers in the first half, was there a sense that you weren't giving yourself a chance to win the game because of the way the ball was being thrown out of bounds and everything?
I think it was uncharacteristic of our team, but of course when you have 15 turnovers in the first half and keep turning the ball over, they're going to capitalize off of our mistakes. And so that's what they did. I bet they had like at least 30 points off of our turnovers. And so we just have to take care of the ball better.
Yeah, I agree with Brooke. We didn't do what Coach said in making sure we ball faked and make sure we made the right pass at the right time. So I think that's what made the difference as well.
Question on the front.
For Brooke first, Ariel, we've been talking about it for several weeks. You knew that win or lose, this was going to be the end as seniors. Can you tell us what's going through your mind right now, knowing that the Longhorn career is over?
Brooke first.
I'm very grateful for my 4 years that I've been here, and I wouldn't change it for anything. I am upset that we went out the way we did this year, just because I have high expectations for our team, which everybody on our team should have high expectations for each other. And so, no, but I am very grateful that I came here. I'm very grateful that I get to wear this Texas uniform. It made me sit back and realize that there's something bigger than myself. And so I'm just very grateful.
Ariel?
I'm extremely blessed to have had this opportunity. I think God opened up a lot of doors for me since I've been here. And the stage is set for our younger players to take off. When we came here with a mindset to help, along with the players that were here with us and before us, to get Texas back to what it needs to be. And I think the stage is set, and I think they have every opportunity to be what they want to be. They're just going to have to work for it, and they know what to do. It'll be up to them.
Any further questions for our student athletes? Okay, ladies, congratulations on a great season, and take care. Take questions for Coach. Questions for Coach? We'll take a question on the front, right?
Coach, I think you used the word home run it. And can you say in what fashion they were trying to home run it? Was it the long touchdown type passes that would go out of bounds, or was it something other than that?
I think in the first half, they were doing a tremendous job of handling our transition, and we're used to getting easy buckets in transition, and I thought they were really flooding the lane, and we weren't, we missed some easy ones, I thought, in the first half, and then we forced some that weren't there, where we should have flipped the floor a little bit more, and we talked about that at halftime. And I mean, we obviously got some transition buckets in the second half, but I still think that there were times that even in the second half, that we tried to shoot too quick when it wasn't really there. And again, they probably didn't have to play defense. Well, they didn't have to play defense near as long as we did the entire night. And again, that's part of our personality, is to take quick shots, but it's also something that we've talked about really repeatedly, which is in the games that we've struggled in, that's been kind of the bugaboo with this team, is not to have the discipline to reverse it and shift the defense for two reasons. I mean, one of the reasons is to get them out of position. The other reason is to be able to offensive rebound, and those were two categories that we were not our best in. And you don't get them out of position, so therefore you don't get to the foul line, which all of those things we did not do today.
Another question on the front right.
As I told the players, Brooke and Ariel, that we all knew that this was going to be their last go-around, win or lose. Thoughts and memories of what they have done and brought to the basketball program?
Yeah, I mean, I've said this many times in the last few weeks, and I said it to them in the locker room, I'm not sure. I mean, there may be in my lifetime as a coach that I coach more talented players, but I don't know that I'll coach two better role models, two better leaders, two better gym rats, two better workers than Brooke and Ariel. They've been the model student athletes at Texas, and I mean, we've talked at length about how they've helped us build our program, and that, you know, they'll have some time to reflect, and eventually, I think, you know, they're hurt right now, and it will hit them at some point, the impact that they've had on our program here at Texas, and it's been an absolute joy to coach those two for 4 years.
Further questions for Coach? Coach, we got one more question on the outside left.
Michelle Vopel, ESPN.com. Karen, Corey was saying that she's had some conversations with you about how similar the things that you two have done in terms of programs that had these great traditions, but you had to come back in and rebuild a lot of things. I know this is difficult for you, but knowing her as you do, I mean, this is their first Elite Eight since '99.
Yeah.
Can you maybe talk a little bit about the job she's done there?
She's done a tremendous job, and it is interesting that there's a few coaches, and 3 of them are actually here in this regional, myself, Corey, Vic, that have, our journey's been similar in a sense that we were longtime assistants for iconic coaches, really, and we've kind of grown up in the profession together, and so you have a very mutual respect for, I guess what I would call it is paying your dues, and I think that Corey is one of those coaches that did that, and then she does it the right way while she's there. I mean, she's an incredibly tireless recruiter. I think we're very similar in the way we recruit. And I think that she appreciates the history of women's basketball. So those are all things that, because of who we worked for and the time that we've spent in the game, we both really have an appreciation for the game and a respect for the game and the people that were there before us. So that's probably the biggest similarities. I'm obviously very disappointed that we lost. And, you know, it's never a time when you lose, I think, especially your last game, to be negative about your own team at all, because I've really enjoyed this team and the journey that we've been on. But I will say that they looked like a really hungry team, and one that had not been there in quite some time, by the way they played. So credit absolutely goes to them, because I thought that the 50-50 balls and a lot of the things we talked about, they looked a little, for whatever reason, a little hungrier tonight.